When you said, "I do," you expected your marriage to last forever. You envisioned growing old with your spouse, holding hands in your rocking chair on the front porch. You meant every word of it, "till death do us part." You never imagined death would come so soon. Being widowed is devastating at any age. How do you go on without the one you've loved the most? How do you face the challenges of daily life when your heart is broken into a million pieces? How do you find hope when you've lost love?
Welcome to the Dr. Gloria and Dr. Heidi Show. This show is brought to you by the Open to Hope Foundation with the mission of helping people find hope after loss. And now, Dr. Gloria and Dr. Heidi.
So Heidi, our next guest, Janet Gallin, is another person who is a bereaved spouse many years and has gone on to do some things and some transformational things, and we're going to be interested in talking to her about writing today. So let's greet Janet.
Okay, very good.
Right. Hi, Janet. So good to see you.
Hi, Janet.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's have a seat. Well, Janet, it's so super to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
I was telling you, we were talking, and I was telling you that that picture that we've got of your husband that you sent us,
Yes.
that it is an amazing picture of you two hugging and
kissing. And
Yeah.
you know what inspired us? Because do you know, my mother and I were in your office in San Francisco. We saw this intimate picture of you and your husband kissing. And we went home and took pictures of ourselves kissing our spouses.
Yes.
because you can only do that while you're around. And I will tell you,
Yes.
everybody out there, take
Yes.
a picture kissing.
Take a picture and write letters and document yourself in your
Yes.
love, because you may need it more closely than you think you do and sooner. But I just want to say ditto.
Yeah.
Everything Ellen said.
And talk a little bit about Dan and what happened with him and how you lost him.
Well, he committed suicide when he was 40 and I was 39. And we had, and you know, there are always signs that could go either way.
Right.
And our daughters were 10 and 14. And it was the most horrible phone call. I still, when the phone rings, I notice it. I notice, you know, that something awful can come at any minute. And it was awful. And you're so right when you say you get married forever. He was supposed to be my forever. Now, at this stage of my life, 30 years later, I realize he is my forever. And he's still here, just like you said, always. And I have a friend who lost his wife 3 years ago. And I so badly want to find somebody for him, and I want to fix him up, and he's just not ready. And he said, I just can't seem to move on. I can't move forward. And I realized as he said that, I said, you know, it's not a matter of moving on. Sometimes it's a matter of moving over and letting somebody else in.
I like
Well,
that.
talk
There's
to
room
us
in our hearts for more than one.
Talk to us about what you do with love letters, and you've got your column and with the
Yes.
San Francisco
Examiner
yeah, and you can find her online, and she does interviews
Yes.
and talk about the love letters.
Well, you know, love letters are such a healing business. And I just want to say first that a love letter is really about the other guy. It's not what you did last summer or this weekend or on your vacation. Those are great letters to write and to get, but different from a love letter. And a love letter is really about the other person. And, you know, I like to say, you want to say what you feel while you still have the chance. You have the chance after somebody's gone still to write a really beautiful and meaningful letter. Where do you mail it? That's a good question. But you can mail it to yourself, you can mail it to the children, you can mail it to friends.
You can mail it to heaven, if that is your belief.
But you know, but I like the fact that they land somewhere and they get opened
Okay.
by someone and they get stuck in some treasure box.
Yeah.
And what you can't do is write the letter after you're gone. And how sad to leave nothing behind for other people to see. And the real advantage, in this in particular, is when you're writing a love letter, you don't have to feel unqualified love for somebody. I mean, there are difficult moments in a relationship, difficult moments in some, obviously in marriages, but for the sake of the love letter, you're focusing on only the positive. You're letting the garbage slide by for now. And as you're writing down everything wonderful about somebody else, you are just bathing in the positive. and you will see that your breathing changes and you're smiling and something clears. It's wonderful.
So you can do forgiveness letters. You
Yes,
can do...
I think forgiveness letters you have to be careful because you have to forgive without saying, I forgive you. It's a little righteous, I think.
All
Well,
right.
and I love that you can do this whenever you want. And also, there's often so much unfinished business, especially if it's a sudden loss.
Yes.
And
That's
to be
horrible.
able to say our final goodbyes and say things we wish we had said.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, Heidi, I think we've got the audience for just one question.
My father, actually, when he passed away, my mother had a hard time getting over his departure. And I never knew about this, but when my father was in the Korean War, he wrote love letters to my mom, and she brought those out, and that helped her heal.
Yes.
And, and she shared them with me, and that's the first time I'd even heard about them.
Thank you, Marcus. I think that's a tremendous story I heard today. And it's actually Heidi's husband. And I talked to him about it today. It was amazing.
Yes, it is an amazing thing. And somehow it's the handwriting. Handwriting is king in this. So, because that's what you have. Somehow the handwriting carries us. Nobody has that handwriting but you. Everybody has Lucida Bright and Helvetica on the computer. Nobody has your hand. And sometimes people think, my handwriting is so awful, I can't really write a letter. Sure you can. Unless you've got some physical reason that you can't. It doesn't matter how bad it is. It's yours. And for that alone, it's going to be worth a lot and really beautiful.
And Janet, you also said you don't have to be a writer to write a letter.
Oh, sometimes people say, I'm not a writer, I'm not a good writer. When it comes to a love letter, if you say what you feel, you are a good writer. And there's an art to that. There's an art to really saying how you feel and being brave enough to do it. Yeah, it's a good question. I like that.
What a great thing to do. And as I said, thank you for the idea of the picture too. I mean, it's an amazing
I'm so glad
thing.
you like that.
It's really, I have a picture of myself with my son, and it's interesting because he died, and everybody shows that picture everywhere, don't they, Heidi?
Yes, because it's a really intimate picture of them hugging, and there's so much love. And it's so intimate, and it's our favorite picture.
Yeah. So out there, if you still have a spouse or any loved one, get those pictures of them. Well, thanks a lot for being on the show, Janet.
Thank you.
It's just been wonderful having you on today, and for all the good you're doing. And I hope people will visit you on your website and look at your.
I hope so. Come say hello.
Thank you, Janet.
Thanks to all our other guests.
This has been the Dr. Gloria and Dr. Heidi Show, brought to you by the Open to Hope Foundation, with a mission of helping people find hope after loss. Dr. Gloria and Dr. Heidi invite you to visit them at opentohope.com, where you can listen to radio shows, watch Open to Hope television, read articles, and view books. Also, join them on Twitter and Facebook and put your events on their international calendar. Thanks for watching.